Hello, RPS family. How we doing? Happy Tuesday. Ready to roll, ready to roll, ready to roll. You know what it is. We're back with title. Special guest Mangone filling in for DC. Little Tuesday MLB action. Love to see it. We've been crushing MLB, so I'm ready to get to it. Mangone, how you feeling? I'll start with the guest first. How you living today?
I didn't know I was a special guest, but I'm glad to be the special guest. I'm excited to be here talking MLB, doing a little more FanDuel today. I'll say that. So if the people want some FanDuel takes, I'm definitely diving a little deeper into that. So yeah, I wanted to MME a little bit. I like their little $4 thing. They also have a nice little $150 contest. So if you're looking to dive into that, some pretty interesting stuff there. DK, obviously, it'll be a fun slate. A lot of different pitching options to talk about. Astros got the job done yesterday, but the lunch lady did not. So that was definitely very hurtful. But we're back at it again. We got NBA going on tonight. I mean, obviously, the Lakers and Warriors, that's the start of that series. That'll be a lot of fun. Jimmy Buckets, will he play? That'll be interesting to watch. I mean, that dude has been absolutely electric to watch. So I'm excited for tonight. Should be a good night of sports.
Love it. Way to recap it all for us. Title, I'm guessing that's why you got the FanDuel hat on. You going a little bit more heavier on FanDuel than usual tonight, or what?
No, I look at all my hat selection. And I just randomly pick one that somewhat matches with the shirt. Haven't worn this one in a while, so no.
I do have a question. How many hats do you have that are in the rotation? I'll say that.
Well, in the rotation, I mean, you kind of know that. So I have a lot more hats that are in my rotation. I'm picky. I don't like how they fit on my head when my hair's longer. I don't like this one as much when it's shorter. This one works. I'm picky. And, of course, my black one, the Salty Crew hat, is definitely my favorite one. How many do I have? Probably have like 30. How many do I have in my rotation? Maybe 5, if that. So I'm trying to diverse and spread it out a little more.
How many girls you got in the rotation?
Just one, man. Just one.
What a guy! What a guy! I have 0, but
no, you have more. You have more than 0. When you're single, there's more of a rotation. When you're not single, yeah.
I have one hat, right? I've always this hat.
Yes.
That's the OG.
So I've talked to friends about it. And I'm thinking of getting a new hat, and they're like, "Why can't you just buy one and then like buy another?" And I'm like, "No, it's just one hat. That's how it works. I don't know what to tell you." And so I'm in the process of considering buying one, and it has to be the perfect hat. And it hasn't hit yet, but it's the reason I asked. I've been getting a lot of grief from people. One of my friends sent me a picture of their hat collection, and I mean it's massive. And I'm just like, I think I've worn like maybe 10 or 12 hats in my life. Like,
yeah,
I wore a hat. Honest to God.
Yeah, you're not a hat guy.
You've never worn a hat?
No, I'm like paranoid that it makes you go bald, and so like I don't know. I just never mess with it.
So
fair enough.
Another thing too, I always wear the hat at the gym because like I don't want to do my hair and stuff. Like it's an absolute.
You wear that same hat that you sweat in, and then you bring it home and then you wear it on the show.
I have a gym one. So this is right now. It's the Saberson hat. It's always the backup one. So
you wore that one yesterday. Okay, yeah, you wore that one yesterday.
Well, I wore it yesterday because I couldn't find this one, and it was like lost in like the laundry basket. Like, because I was doing laundry and it just kind of fell in there. So yes, I have a gym hat, and then I have a hat that like I'm not gonna sweat and just get
I will say, get that collection up to like 3 or 4 Mango. Just a couple different colors, but if you're really just looking for one, you got to go hat shopping in person to put it on, see how it fits, and that you can't be going online and just ordering hats.
I've done it enough where I actually know like which materials are good, which are the ones I like. So like I can do it online, but you are correct. It's good to go in person for sure.
Definitely. Derek, yeah. See, there you go.
Yeah, I was responding. I was like, okay, look, you guys caught me. I look terrible in hats, okay? I didn't want to say it. I look like an idiot, okay? I'm sorry.
I need Kurt in that cutoff tee, right? The cutoff he has, the backwards snapback hat at the gym, getting a good pump in. That's what
I just told you all. Those guys at Amp would eat me alive. Be like, what is this little puny ass bitch doing? I go to Planet, I'd be like, I'd probably own the gym if I did that, but.
You could. I see you as a visor guy, Kurt. I like myself some visors.
God, that's like the lowest. Like, oh.
No, I like visors. Visors are nice. I could see you rocking the.
I'll rock the ball game. I'll rock with the ball game.
I can see Kurt with the bat where he wears the visor like backwards and upside down.
Backwards, flipped upside. Yeah, that would be Kurt.
Right? The frat guy? Okay.
Yeah, that would be Kurt.
All right, guys. I want to recap because I know they talked about yesterday, but congrats to everyone who did good in the single entry leaderboard stuff. Couples called my college basketball friends, Stevie Boynton and Barrett, got 1 and 2 in most of them. No big deal. I got top 25, and if they would have lasted it till tomorrow or yesterday, I was like, I almost had to take down a single entry, so I would have probably got like top 5. But hey, you know what? Had a good week. I mean, the leaderboard was peppered with RPS guys, so I love that. Wish they did that more. I know they only did it once for NBA, so I doubt it's going to come back. But if they do, don't make sure to miss that out, guys. You play it every day. Super fun. But anyways, let's get into it. Let's start with the pitching options. Before I get into that, though, can we get the like button? You guys know I don't hound you on this. I'm not good about it. I mean, I get whipped. Rubio got sipped down here from Lexington to whip me because I'm so bad at doing the housekeeping stuff. Please like, please subscribe. A fun pitching slate. A bunch of the young guys that I don't know how comfortable I am trusting them yet, even though they've been so electric. And then a decision with Garrett Cole being like $55K basically. So let's get into the title. I'll start with you. How are you handling these pitchers today?
Yeah, do you want to do 8K and above and then 8K and below? How do you want to do? Because 12 games.
Slate. Yeah, monster slate. I forgot to mention that. It's huge. So let's do that. Let's break it up into two.
Yeah, 12 games. It's a bunch. And there's really good options up top. There's really good options down low. And in the mid-tier, ownership's really not going to go there. You're either going to pay up, you're going to pay down. And right now, cash-wise, a lot of people are going to go down. And it makes sense. Coors Field's on this slate. A lot of expensive bats. Like, you can play two good pitchers. We'll get down below to the Millers, BB, these young kids, and stack top 5 in Toronto. Play Vlad, Springer, you name it. All the expensive guys. You can do it. 5-man Coors stack with 2 cheap pitchers that are good. You can do it. So I think paying up will be more contrarian. Garrett Cole tops the slate, 11.5K. Usually when Garrett Cole's on the slate, he's the highest owned pitcher. Man, it's expensive. The next highest owned pitcher, or the next highest price pitcher, Joe Ryan at 10.5. Then Zach Gallen, who's been a complete stud this year at 10K. That's 1,500 savings you can get from Cole to Gallen. I'm looking at it. I don't think I really get to too much Garrett Cole today. If you like Garrett Cole, there's nothing wrong with it at all. I don't love the matchup against Cleveland. They can be pesky. And I just like the matchup a lot more when you go down a little bit to a Zach Gallen. Same K prop, 6.5. Cole's got a little more juice on the over. Zach Gallen's got the second best on the slate. But, man, Zach Gallen has been so good this year. His Texas lineup does not worry me one bit. Just look at what Gallen's been doing. He's my favorite up top. FanDuel, again, now then you look at FanDuel, 11.8K. That's too expensive for me. I'll be going more in the mid-tier route on FanDuel, but it's probably no Cole for me. I'm not going to get to Joe Ryan either. If you're playing 20-plus lineups, yeah, Cole would definitely be my pool. Ryan would be in my pool. Zach Gallen's my favorite up top. And then Hunter Brown, 9.6K. Talk about another guy that's got off to a very good start. San Francisco K's a lot against righties, 9.6K right here. 5.5K prop, a lot of juice on the over. The thing that you look at when you top tier pitching, when you're coin flipping between certain guys, what I like to look at is umpires. Fortunately, Hunter Brown and Gallen do have extreme hitters umpires, which I don't love to see, but I'm going to take the matchup, how they've been so far to start the year, take the $1,500, $1,900 savings off of Cole. Only 2 guys I look at that I'm playing in the upper tier, Zach Gallen, Hunter Brown. If you like Cole, you like Joe Ryan, sure. Not getting to Freddie, Julio Urias, Ashcraft, none of these guys up there. So, yeah, Gallen, number 1, Hunter Brown, number 2 in the top tier. It would be 3 for Garrett Cole, but I don't see myself getting there.
I like it. All right, Mangone, you seen it different? You seen the board a little bit differently? Are you trusting these young guys to just keep crushing? And is Gallen just going to get 1,000 consecutive outs, or what's going on here?
Yeah, it does seem like a pitching slate. Like, typically the pitching slates, like if you had to say most MLB slates, typically it's just go up top and grab like the best guy on the board. Like most of the time, it's kind of how they're structured. I don't know if this one's typically structured in this way. I think a lot of people are kind of diving a little bit cheaper on both FanDuel and DraftKings. If you are going to go up to the top, you got to pick between, I think, Gallen. I think it's between Gallen or Garrett Cole. I think those are kind of like the first 2 discussion points. Which one do you like more? For me, I would pick Gallen over Cole right now. So that would be my choice if I had to pick with these guys up top. Joe Ryan is up there, and he's been great and all, but I don't think it's a spot where I'm going to go to Joe Ryan. And then I think third in line would be Hunter Brown. That's if I was spending up. That's kind of how I would approach it. I also don't mind the idea of Julio Urias. I think he's another interesting option up top. I think it also depends on your bats, right? If you are going to spend up for a lot of bats today and you're going to end up going up to some of these options, well, then maybe punting the position with the pitcher makes sense. But if you have a very cheap stack, I would go up towards the top for my pitchers. I'll at least want to call that out. I don't think I'd leave the money on the table. Yes, we might talk about some of these cheaper pitchers that are pretty good options down low, but the reason why is I think for some of these bats and be able to get exposure to Coors Field, It is kind of hot outside today. Not super hot, but yeah, I think Coors is definitely going to have a good opportunity to take advantage of today with some of the pitchers that we have on the mound over there. But if I had to say the 8 can of guys and above, I think the guys that I had mentioned are really the list. I think for me, it's Zach Gallen, number 1. The matchup against Texas is good. Yes, the roof is going to be open, but this Texas lineup has not been as strong lately. If you look at this Texas team, and I'm pulling up the lineup now because I know it's been bad, and it came out. Jankowski still in that 2-hole. You got Lowe, Adalis Garcia, and Semien, but that bottom of the order is just not that exciting. I think this is a lineup we can take advantage of. Texas run totals around 3.5. I think Zach Gallen definitely going to be a good option. We look at Garrett Cole. He gets to go up against the Guardians, gets to pitch at home. It's a 7-run total. Cleveland Guardians run total is pretty low. I'm not that scared of this lineup amongst the guys like Jose Ramirez, Josh Naylor, and Josh Bell, but that's really it. And then Hunter Brown, we'll go over to him and kind of talk about his situation. He does get the pitch against the San Francisco Giants. San Francisco Giants are coming out of that game from altitude. We'll have to see what lineup they put out. Sometimes they can put out some really nasty lineups, but Brown obviously in play. And then Urias, again, I think he is in that conversation, but he would be 4th for me. And yes, the Phillies offense, they are a team that we talk about that they have a lot of power in their lineup, but they are kind of like I always like to say, they're like the light New York Yankees, where yes, they have power, but they have some K upside within their lineup. Like, for instance, I don't love to target the Yankees, but they do strike out at times, and there are times where you take advantage of those performances. So Urias is definitely in the conversation. That's my ranking of the guys above 8K. It'd be those 4 that I would be looking at. I think there's some other options before that might be ahead of some of them that we'll get to and discuss. But if you're talking about the 8K and above, that's the ranking.
Man, I feel like you're kind of sleeping on Joe Ryan. As someone who watched the White Sox live last week, holy shit, they are freaking terrible. I know they had the awesome comeback against the Rays the other day, but I mean, they just whiff at everything. And Joe Ryan, DC's boy, like fixed something in the offseason or something, but has been playing well. So I think you're a little bit low on the boy Joe Ryan. So, but anyways.
He's going to be low owned. He's a contrarian option right between Gallen and Garrett Cole, which will keep his ownership down. Yeah. White Sox only have 3 lefties in their lineup, which hits Joe Ryan more, 50 degrees in Chicago. So, again, I don't think it's the craziest. I didn't put Julio or Urias in my pool. I said it'd be Joe Ryan. That was the one thing Mangone and I differed about. But, man, pitching is so loaded. Like, Hunter Brown's been great. Gallen's been great. There is Garrett Cole. And we're going to get down to these 3 guys down below that are pretty much free on a slate where you do want some expensive bats, and these guys have as much upside as anyone up top. So I don't mind.
Keep going, Title?
No, I don't mind. Oh, yeah, then Bobby goes in here. Joe Ryan going to shove too. So, yeah, he was my 4th up there.
Wait,
Bobby Gomes. He likes Joe Ryan too. So.
Bobby, I thought you meant Bobby here. I was like, Jesus Christ. If he said whatever he says right now, just follow it. Please.
That's fair. This is a good segue. Even though it's a different Bobby, it's a good segue. I posted Bobby's team, right? So we can check it out in NBA. Yes, it's different, but he has MLB Coors over here on Run Pure Sports. If you want to check it out, go sign up. You can use the code Mangone15, get you 15% off. But he had a nice little 3-man chop to win $53,000 last night. So just want to say congrats to him. Put it on the board here so that people could see. Yes, it's for NBA. It's different, but he'll have NBA Coors tonight. He'll also have MLB Coors as well. So if you want to tail his MLB stuff, the man has been on fire. So be sure to check all of that out.
Facts. I mean, when these guys get hot, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of on a mini heater right now myself, but not a 55K heater. But when these guys get hot, man, you just tail. Ride it out with them. Ride the wake. It's nice little bankroll builder.
Kurt, I got second in the League of Legends street, so I'm not hot. I got second last night. But actually, the crazy part is a member of ours had a solo ship for 2,000, and he's the one who passed the train. He said he's not going to Chile. So we got people winning in all the sports. They're winning in Euro. They're winning in League. They're winning in NBA. Steve is crushing in MLB. We got all the sports crushing it right now.
Man, I give out like a freaking power play on Prize Picks today for EuroLeague. No sweat, just hits in the third quarter. Like, fucking midday EuroLeague, bro. All sports one price. Just get in the Discord. I'm giving away free, like with no sweat. Just easy money to start your day. More money for MLB. Anyways, Title, take us into the below 8K range. You talked about some gyms you like. Sure, we kind of know, but give us a deeper dive into it.
Yeah, you probably do know. There's 3 guys down low that people are going to – mainly 2, I guess. There's 3 guys. So 3 of the top prospects in NBA or in the MLB. Tanner Bibby on Cleveland gets this Yankees team that their lineup looks awful. They've been struggling. He made his major league debut last time out and just absolutely shoved. He's going to be one of the forgotten. He's not going to be forgotten, but he's going to be one of the lower owned guys compared to Mason Miller, 5.7K for Oakland, one of their top pitching prospects, making his third start. And he got beat up a little bit in the first inning last start against the Angels, rebounded well, pitched 3 scoreless after that. Very, very high pitching prospect from, like I said, huge K prop, 5.5 with a lot of juice on the over for 5.7K. Great pitching conditions as well in Oakland. Then you go right to the other side of that game. Another Miller, Bryce Miller. So there's Mason Miller at 5.7 for Oakland. Bryce Miller, 4K, flat min, 4K, Seattle, making his major league debut, top pitching prospect for Seattle. Gets his Oakland team no one's worried about. Also a 5K prop, about even money, but you're getting a min price 4K guy, a top pitching prospect in the best pitching environment against a team I'm not worried about with the 5K prop. So he's going to be the chalkiest pitcher on the slate, I believe. Him, Mason Miller, Zach Gallen, Garrett Cole will probably be the 4 highest owned. You can easily play a Miller lineup. It will be a little chalky. Don't play Miller, Coors Field, and go about your day. I'm not saying that. That's the wrong thing to do. But you can play Miller, play any 5 bats on any of the teams you want, and you'll still have salary left over. And they have as much upside. You tell me at the end of this slate, both those Millers have the most raw points on the whole slate, I wouldn't be shocked. They are those type of guys. So complete mispricing over here. I think Tanner Bibby's interesting. 4.5K prop, a lot of juice on the over, 6.5K. So people are just going to go the Millers if they go down, or they're probably going to go up a little more. Again, some people are going to play this guy, but man, this Yankees lineup is no good. There's a lot of strikeouts in it. Like look at this. Aaron Hicks on there, Trevino down there, Cabrera, there's Willie Calhoun, Bader's in the 5-hole, DJ 4-hole. Like, this is not a team I'm worried about at all. It's 50 degrees. Bibby, big guy, man, just sign me up for him. He's probably my favorite GPP play because everyone's going to go down to the Millers down below, but I can't fault anyone. The 4K guy, Bryce Miller, he's just way too cheap. You can get whatever you want with good chalk. Mason Miller, big arm, but Tanner Bibby's the one that stands out down here. I'm not going to look at any of these guys, though, be around him. Like, I'm not playing Kopech. I'm not playing Steven Matz, Sandoval, Strom. It's a pretty easy pitching for me today. It's hard because there's a lot of good options, but it's easy in the fact if you go all the way up to Ryan, Cole, Gallen, Brown, I wouldn't pair 2 top-tier guys. I don't think that's the right slate to do it. If you want to pick one guy up top, fine. I would be fine pairing 2 down below, the Bibbies or the Millers. Or you just go 1-1. But yeah, it's 6 guys in my pitching pool. Which 6? Picking 2 of the 6 is the difficult part. But yeah, these Millers down below, the 2 chalkiest guys on the slate, just way too underpriced. And they're going to be a problem. Don't forget about you won't forget about these guys' names. They'll be in the big leagues for a while, putting up numbers.
I like that. So before I get to Mangone and talk about how he kind of knows what he feels about these like misprices, do you guys ever I think my main has cashed 8 out of the last 10 slates in MLB, but this is the most I've liked a slate out of like the past 2 weeks. So we know what's going to happen, right?
That's
how it goes. Yeah. I really love this slate, but that's what's going to happen. But maybe it doesn't. Maybe I shift the fucking thing. Mangone, how do you feel about the misprices? How are you going about them? Are you kind of doing the same thing as Title, where just don't play both and then stack cores because you're just like blocking yourself in? What are you doing?
It's funny. I never like slates like these. I like the tighter pricing slates. I like when you have to go up and grab like pitchers that are expensive and it boxes you out of playing other stuff. You have to make decisions. So that's just my personal opinion, but it doesn't mean we can't win money on these slates. So yeah, I think one rule that I would personally set, and I kind of talked about it on the show yesterday. I said, you know what I wouldn't do if I was building lineups? I wouldn't play Snell and Luis Garcia together. And of course, yeah, it was unfortunate that Garcia went down, but your Snell lineups were then very unique, right? And you didn't have him just get destroyed with Luis Garcia. So I like the idea of taking Mason Miller and Bryce Miller and let everyone else load up on the double Miller combination, and I just won't do that, right? Not saying it's going to be like super chalky, but I just feel like with that route, it's going to push in a lot of these like high projected and high owned like one-off type of guys, and just I don't want to mess with that. I would rather pair one of my Millers with some of these other guys. Maybe it's with a Michael Wacha. Maybe it's with Hunter Brown and some of these other options we talked about. But I like the idea of separating those guys. I just think it's a pretty good idea here on this slate. As we keep kind of looking at these guys below 8K, who are some of the ones that I'm interested in here? I would say Michael Wacha is the first one. Michael Wacha gets the opportunity to go against the Cincinnati Reds. Cincinnati Reds are a team that we are definitely willing to target. Low enough run total, 4.5 strikeout prop. And again, Michael Wacha is not this absolute strikeout machine, but it's a pretty good park in a good matchup. A lot of the stars are aligning for this to be a solid opportunity for someone like Michael Wacha. Again, I'm not saying this guy is someone I absolutely love, but I think there is enough opportunity here on this slate to take advantage of it just because enough things are aligning pretty well. You can make the case for that for Tyler Wells a little bit. I just think Wacha is a little bit of a better play, so I would gravitate towards him instead. As we keep going down the list, I think Steven Matz is in the conversation, but my issue with Steven Matz is the floor could be rough. It's definitely not amazing. So my kind of approach on him would be, if I played Steven Matz, I would want to just get slightly overweight on the field of him. I don't want too much. I don't want to just look back and be like, I have 50% Steven Matz, because it could get ugly fast. But I do like the idea of trying to get slightly overweight on him as I kind of build out my pitching pool. Not someone I'd probably play in my single entry 3 max stuff. I think there's just better pitchers that I prefer. I'd obviously prefer Mason Miller. I think if I had to pick, I'm going to take Mason Miller, maybe over Bryce Miller. I think obviously, yes, I'd rather target the Oakland A's, but Mason Miller, we've seen him kind of pitch a couple times. He's gone out there and he's got 81 and 86 pitches. Kind of looked at that a little bit today. He's one of these guys that DC has touted up a bit. The other guy, Bryce Miller, I feel like we haven't seen him at all yet, right? And there's more uncertainty with him. I'm not saying that there's not uncertainty with Mason Miller, but I do think that's the case. And someone's saying Matz isn't on the slate. Is he not on the slate and I'm wrong about this title?
No, he's on the slate. I thought he's on the slate. Starting for the Cards last I saw. No. Yeah.
Unless I'm crazy.
No, he is. Yeah, he's still starting.
Yeah. All right. So I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, K-Fleek Burner. Maybe someone else can correct me. See, if you derail the show, you derail me. You better be right. That's all I'm going to say. So, Matz is still, unless someone tells us different, Steven Matz still starting against the Angels. All right. Well, you know what, K-Fleek Burner, you're getting a timeout. Timeout for K-Fleek Burner.
you gave the OG K-Fleek Burner a 5 minute
for derailing my takes for no reason. Because when I get derailed, it gets bad. You know what I mean? I was in a rhythm. I was on a roll. And then we pop in with this comment that I see in the corner. So very hurtful. We threw you in timeout. But anyways, I think that Steven Matz is someone that you can make an argument for. Trevor Williams is an interesting guy that's down there. One thing I did notice when I was digging through some props today, he's not a strikeout guy, right? Obviously, 3.5 strikeout prop. But his outs recorded prop was really, really high compared to other guys. I thought that was really, really interesting there. So not saying I'm going to play him, but he is going to go a little bit longer. So, overall, let me rank these bottom guys for you. So Mason Miller is probably my favorite one. Bryce Miller would be – actually, I'd say Michael Wacha becomes my second favorite option below that range. And then Bryce Miller would be my third favorite option, followed by, let's just make that my top 3 in that 8K and below range. That's kind of how I rank them. So again, it'd be Mason Miller 1 in the below 8K range, Michael Wacha 2, Bryce Miller 3, and Brandon McNair, settle down or you're going to go in timeout with it because he did do something wrong. So he did something wrong. He derailed me and said Matz wasn't on the slate when he was wrong.
4 Under said you misread the comment, so I don't know, man. I didn't see the comment. All I heard was you asked about Steven Matz, but I'm waiting. K-Fleek Burner, I know you're still listening. Get in the Discord, get in the live show chat. I need to see what you said because Mangone might be wrong, it sounds like. We'll see.
Mangone is never wrong, sir. How dare you?
I don't know. We'll see. I got to get my man K-Fleek Burner's back too, so we'll see who's right on this one. We'll see.
Tyler, did you rank your bottom guys or is it really just the main 2 for you and then sprinkle?
Yeah, no, Bibby, looking at the ownership wise, I think Bibby would probably be my favorite. I wouldn't play both Millers together. I agree with Mangone there. Like I said, I wouldn't play like a Hunter Brown, Zach Gallen. I wouldn't play 2 guys up top. I'd get one of those guys down below. I don't mind a Michael Wacha call, like Mangone said. On DK, I probably don't get it with the pricing of those other guys that I like the upside more. FanDuel, he's only 7K though. He's cheaper than those guys, so I think he's fine over there. But Mangone, Matt's on this slate. Come on,
so he was saying
No,
like sarcastic, like Matt's on this slate?
He had the word "not" in there, so I think he meant what he meant was Matt's not on this slate, right? Like not with it being such a good slate.
Burger fan, you said that you messed it up too. I don't know, Mangone. Mangone always wrong. Said Rubio. All right.
I understand where that verbiage could make it sound that way, but you know what, K-Fleek Burger, you're still in timeout. I don't know what to tell you.
You were saying Matt's was bad. I don't know. Everyone's teaming up against Mangone. This is an interesting show.
Because I know what they're saying now. They're saying that he said not on this slate, but he did have the word "not" in there. He did.
Fair enough.
You guys ready to talk hitters or what? We're just gonna put people around.
Right. Yeah, you run the ship.
Goose heads, baby. Come on. I'm loving the way the freaking balls have been hit so far. But before we do that, can we hit the like button, please? Can we subscribe? All sports, one price. Go sign up. Bro, so many people message me and be like, I've already made my money back. Like the first month, already made back. I've had 2 friends who like don't really dabble much in this like type of stuff, but they did pay for it in 1 month. And just try it out, guys. Just come try it. The free shows can only give you so much, and they do help a lot. But if you really want to take it to the next level, go sign up. Let's get into the hitters now. It's 12 gamers, so obviously we're not going to sit here and talk so much about every game. There will be some games we talk a lot faster over, don't really like much. That's just standard stuff. Let's go to the Nats Cubs. Mangone, start us off. What are we doing here?
Yeah, what's it called? The Mets. What'd you say? The Mets and the Cubs. I got Mets on my mind.
K-Fleek's so deep in Mangone's head about Steven Matz. He's not going to be able to get that name out of his dome.
I didn't know you were going to me too. I was reading the chat. Apparently, Gator got timeout twice, so we got a lot of people going in timeout these days. But
Steven Matz and Dylan Brooks giving Mangone nightmares.
The Nats. Oh, first of all, Dylan Brooks isn't giving me nightmares. I've been on the Dylan Brooks sucks train forever, and now everyone wants to send him to China. I was trying to send him to China first.
Mangone Tigers, Niehaus. Okay.
Correct. So, yeah, I was on board with that a while ago. But anyways, let's go over to the Nats and the Cubs like you talked about, Kurt. Yeah, I don't see that much interest for me in this game. First of all, we've played some Nats here and there. I just don't think this is the spot to do it against Wisniewski. And then if you look at you look at the Cubs side of the ball, man, they did take Wisdom's down. Why is Wisdom down the 8-hole? I know it's a righty, but that sounds dumb, especially Edwin Rios is there. I don't love this lineup. I mean, maybe you could convince me into a Cody Bellinger and like an Ian Happ one-off option, but I am not that interested in this game. It's an 8.5 total, but I think there's better spots that I would rather target.
All right, well, pretty short and sweet. I mean, there's going to be some games like that. We've said it. So, title, any sleepers here? Nothing?
No, give me a fade on this game. Like you said, we got 12 games on this slate. We got a lot of good spots. This is
What's
not
the temperature up there? So I just moved to Florida from DC, and it just blows my mind that it's still like 50 up north. So is it? I'm guessing like 52.
Yeah, just a little mid 50s. Not great. If it was 80, yeah, then you could. Trust me, I'm a big weather person. It gets beautiful in the summer, Washington. The balls fly, but it's not flying yet.
Yep. It's 71 in Colorado right now, so it'll probably hit in the 60s during the game. So that'll be nice for the old Coors Field tonight.
Let's head up a little bit north, go up to the Yankees, Indians. Still probably just as chilly, but maybe we have some one-offs. I mean, the Yankees lineup's got some bats. Title?
No, thank you to me. I like more 5-3 on DK. If you do 5-2-1, you could pick off a one-off. I don't really talk about one-offs much though, because I'm definitely on team stacking. I like Tanner Bibby. This Yankees lineup looks gross, and I'm definitely not picking against Garrett Cole on this slate. So you're going to have to wait till the next game to get some bats from me.
Title. I mean, not title. Mangone. Anything here?
Yeah. Kurt, which game are we on the Cleveland Yankees game?
Yeah.
I'm out. I get a little distracted and look at other things. So, but Cleveland and Yankees, 7 total. Not really interested in this one. You can't even make a case for too many one-offs either, Kurt. One of the problems that you have is there's no Aaron Judge, right? Typically, if it was a Yankee game, you'd always kind of be like, Aaron Judge is a one-off is fine. If I had to pick a game just to completely X, I think this is on the list as an X-off. The one argument you could make is, does Garrett Cole give up a home run or two at times? Do they have Jose Ramirez? Sure, but I don't think this is the right slate for it.
Pretty simple. We're speeding it. I think we'll have some guys here, though. I mean, I know I will. I stack the Jays every single fucking slate. Red Sox Jays. What are you doing, Title? Don't you bash my Red Sox either.
No, to be honest, I actually think the Red Sox are, when it comes to ownership and stuff, both sides are going to be pretty low owned. As far as Toronto, you have all the money. If you pay down, double spend down at pitcher, like you can play Chapman 5.5, Vlad 6K, Bo Bichette 5.8, Springer 5K, and I guess Varsho's the next at 4K. And you can easily fit 1 through 5 and have money for other stuff. I don't love picking on Huak. The dude has some stuff when it's on. When it's not on, he can definitely get blown up. It still is chilly in Fenway. I think picking against Kikuchi, I mean, these Boston, talked about them, I believe it was yesterday, they're going to be very, very low owned. They got some guys that hit lefties in this lineup. Devers is definitely a fine lefty guy, going to be 1% owned, so I'd be fine with him in my stacks. Kiki Hernandez, known as a lefty masher, second base, shortstop eligible. Yeah, I think that I probably wouldn't 5-man stack this Boston side, but Kikuchi can get wild. He's been good the past couple starts, but he can get wild, and Boston can't turn over the order. Man, if you're talking 3% owned team, again, I don't think I'll 5-man it, but a Kiki Hernandez Devers 4-5 stack probably would be Rex Snyder, Justin Turner also crushes lefties. So 2 through 5, I have a little interest in the Red Sox. Blue Jays, yeah, you said you can always play him. Curious to see, are you going to play him again and stuff? I like other more expensive stacks more than Toronto on this slate, though. So Boston Minis, I think, is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you're disrespecting my boy Yoshida. I don't care if it's a lefty-lefty matchup. The number 6 hole is just fine here, baby.
There you go.
Love me.
K-Philippe's back. I haven't been at timeout since grade school.
Well, way to take it like a champ. Mangone, what say you about the K-Foul being back?
And also, I'm happy he's back. I was worried he maybe left. I was like, hopefully he's still here hanging out with us, but he is definitely here, still hanging with us. So yeah, we'll talk about the Boston Red Sox and Toronto Blue Jays next. Correct, Kurt?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, 9.5 total, right? Obviously, the Blue Jays. I'd say the Blue Jays and Red Sox it's one of the premier spots on the slate. If you're talking about just like games, Blue Jays, I think, is a spot that a lot of people are going to gravitate towards more than the Red Sox. If you had to pick one of like the top 3 like optimal stacks, right? The one that people are just looking at no matter what, and they're going to be chalky. I think it makes that list for sure. So then you have to decide, is it worth it at that ownership? I mean, this is baseball, right? This isn't, basketball where like, the optimal thing more so works more times than not. You got to really think about the ownership and the variance that goes into it. Blue Jays get the wind blowing out 10 miles an hour. They're in Boston. It's definitely not a bad spot to get exposure to them. I think they're really good options as a one-off. They're solid as a 5-man stack as well. Also, don't sleep on these Boston Red Sox. I mean, Kikuchi is not a good pitcher, right? He's definitely someone that we can target with these righties. Kike Hernandez is one that comes to mind. Crushes lefties pretty well. Definitely don't mind him here. Yoshida, even though he's a lefty, I think he's not in a bad spot here. Overall, this is a Red Sox team that I want to have some interest in. So it's not a bad game stack spot either. So I think this is a good game that we want to target for sure here with the Red Sox and the Blue Jays.
Well, I, for one, am loving the circle jerk for the Red Sox. I am completely on board for that. And I think my dawn call today is for sure going to be a Red Sox, and it has nothing to do with bias at all. Let's head out to Chicago. Twins, White Sox, the team I got to bless my eyes with last week. Title, talk to me about the Twins. I mean, the Twins probably the only team guys would really be interested in, but what are you doing?
I'm definitely not picking on Joe Ryan. As far as the Twins, though, outside of Coors Field, this looks to be the chalkiest stack on the slate. Rightfully so. Kopech has been as bad as it gets. Winds blowing out. It is only 50 in Chicago, but winds definitely at their back. It's like 20 miles an hour out to right. If I stack the Twins, so let's just say you're not stacking the Twins and you are someone that does play one-offs, I would not one-off Byron Buxton today. He's going to be one of the chalkier options on the slate. Chalk one-offs just make no sense. If you're going to play a chalky one-off, like if you're going to play a Buxton, do it in a Minnesota stack. I'm fine eating chalk if he's going to be a part of your stack. But I think stacking the Twins without a Buxton is interesting too, just because he's going to be double, triple, quadruple the ownership of the rest of this lineup. And yeah, if you wanted to start, Polanco's going to get some ownership too. They'll be the most popular. But if you wanted to go Correa, Larnick, Miranda, Max Kepler, Joey Gallo, like right there, you just got 3 lefties against Kopech, who struggles against lefties. You have power 3 through 7, and those guys could come in. You could get that stack like 7% or something, whereas Buxton alone might be 28% or something like that. So I like the Twins. I don't love going 1 through 5 because I think Bucks and Polanco get ownership. You skip those 2, then you get the Twins lower owned. That's my favorite way to approach this Twins stack.
One thing I do like about Kopech, the guy used to be one of our Red Sox prospects, but he'll walk everybody. Like he'll walk
so bad.
Bro, he'll walk people home. Like, and that's just, it gives you a nice little floor, nice little safe floor for you, I feel like. So I don't mind the Twins stack today. Mangone, you coming with us?
No, I am not. I will not join you on the chalk twin stack. You can have it, Kurt. That's fine. There are certain teams I do not play as chalk in MLB DFS, and if they are chalk and win all the money, I will lose. I'm happy to lose. You can play chalk twins. I ran my FanDuel stuff. I looked. They're one of my higher owned stacks. I mean, it's them and the Brewers, right? No surprise. When I kind of first looked at the slate, I said to myself, the 3 stacks that I think are going to be the highest owned would be Toronto, would be the Twins, and probably Milwaukee. And I think you want to play some of those offenses, but I think taking some types of stands makes sense. And I am perfectly fine with taking a stand on fading the chalk Twins. Now, one thing I don't hate the idea of doing, and again, I'm playing more FanDuel today, so it's a little bit different. But if you're doing like DK, where you have more mini stacks, because on FanDuel, I don't think you have as many mini stacks, in my opinion. I mean, I typically either run 4 4s or 4 3 1s. And like, what's the difference between a 4-man and 3-man? It's not a huge difference, but there's a very big difference between a 5-man and a 2-man stack over on DraftKings. I think you can make the case to play the Twins as a 2-man stack a little bit, but obviously look at that stack and see. I think they have some guys within the lineup that make sense in a 2-man stack. Like Jorge Polanco helps fill out a really tough second base position, right? That I would not want to ignore. They have some really good options like Larnack and Kepler, Joey Gallo, who could have big games as well. Buxton, but you could make a case there's just better one-offs like Title mentioned. So I think it does make sense to play the Twins more in that 2-man stack scenario.
Muted myself and I couldn't find the mouse. No big deal. I kind of feel the same way about the Brewers as you do the Twins. I won't play a chalky Brewers stack. I fucking hate the Brewers. No offense, Title. I know you're from there. Milwaukee can suck my beep, beep, beep. Let's go on to the next game and let me find out what it is. It is, the fun Orioles versus Kansas City. I mean, how do you not have some interest in these Orioles? Assume they're not going to be that highly owned. Maybe a little 3-man stack with them. What are you thinking?
I'll assume you're saying Title.
Yes, sir.
I think I like this game in tournaments. This is probably my favorite. If you just got to go way off the board, 2 teams that'll be sub 10% owned. And part of it is the best hitting weather, it's 65 degrees, the warmest on the slate. Some of these other ballparks, like we just talked about in Chicago, the wind is blowing out, which you love to see. You're not really getting a wind boost here, but Ryan Yarbrough, Tyler Wells, 2 pitchers that, like, I don't go out of my way to target against, but on a slate like this, where you're talking Joe Ryan, Garrett Cole, Millers, like these high prospects, I'm not scared of Ryan Yarbrough or Tyler Wells. KC would definitely just be a mini stack, and it would definitely just be near the top of the order. Like, I'm not going to play Mikal Garcia, Michael Massey, Kyle Isbell. I'm not playing those guys down low. I'd be playing Bobby Witt, Vinny P, Bascatino, of course, Italian Nightmare, Salvador Perez, or MJ Melendez. So 1 through 4, I would use them as a little mini stack. Definitely like Bobby. What I love about the Royals too, like Brewers just said, are going to get the chalk. Bobby Witt's the pivot from Adames at short. Vinny P, Rowdy to Vinny. William Contreras to Salvi. Like all the positions line up too. They're going to be super, super low owned. So yeah, don't mind some of the Royals. It would just be a mini stack with how bad the bottom of the order is. On the Orioles, though, I think you can 5-man this team. And there are some expensive pieces throughout which you like. But like I said, salary, if you're just playing the bottom pitchers today, the cheap guys with all the upside, you can play a 1% owned Cedric Mullins in the 9-hole. Lefty. Again, you're not assuming Yarbrough is going to be in there that long. If you're 5-man stacking the Orioles, you think they get after him. But no one is going to play Mullins. And it was beginning of the year, a couple days into the slate. I forget exactly. I think they were playing Boston. Lefty was on the mound. Mullins, people thought we're going to bat leadoff, went to the 9-hole. He was 0.4% owned or something crazy and absolutely put up a nuke. That's what you can do in baseball. I love starting near the bottom of the order in this one, but 1 through 9, if they get to Yarbrough, I think they can turn over the order. You get the bad part of the bullpen, guaranteed ninth inning at bats, good hitting weather. Andrew Martinez, 5-man Angels or 5-man Orioles in GPP. Definitely, I like the Orioles in this spot. Don't love picking out Mats as much. So, yeah, I think you can 5-man the Orioles. It would only be a 3-man the Royals. I think it's a sneaky little game stack here, though.
I like that call. A little ballsy call. Mangone, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Baltimore's fine. I mean, one thing I saw someone mention, I don't know if this was in the YouTube chat or the RPS chat, but I thought it was a good point, was like, man, Baltimore's got a deep lineup for putting Cedric Mullins in that 9.
Right.
So, yeah, like it's a team that you feel like you can definitely 1 through 9 pretty well. I'm not saying you need to, but I do think they're definitely in play here. Jorge Mateo, I know Rubio, I know you're hanging out with him. I'm sure he's going to talk about all the Jorge Mateo shares he has and everything. But he's obviously a pretty good option.
That guy's so good.
Yeah, he is right there in the 5-hole.
Yep, nice and in the 5-hole. Mountcastle, I always love him against lefties, so I think he's a good option. I mean, up and down, this lineup is pretty good.
Santander. I love Santander.
Santander, Austin Hayes. I mean, it's a good lineup. So I'm definitely interested in it up and down. So you got to like this Baltimore Orioles team. I think they're in play today. And I'm not really interested in the Kansas City Royals. But the point I will bring up about the Royals that I pretty much will bring up almost on any slate, I don't just X them out as a 2-man stack or one-offs. And the reason why I don't X them from my pool is because Bobby Witt Jr., he does help that shortstop position. And if you have enough salary and you just spend up at shortstop, he is one of the better shortstops on a lot of slates. And look at the catcher position, right? I mean, catcher's never great. And if you have enough salary relief in spots, well, Salvador Perez could fit the bill, or an MJ Melendez. Yes, I know Vinny Pasquantino can make some sense, but from a mini stack perspective, the Kansas City Royals pop a lot because of positions, right? That's why. It's because of a Salvador Perez or Melendez that can pop up at catcher, and that position can be gross. And sometimes the position is so gross you want to punt it completely, or sometimes a guy like Salvador Perez can just win you the position, or an MJ Melendez having a 1 or 2 home run game and really separate you from the field. So I X them out a lot as 5-man stacks, but I do not X them out as 2 or 3-man stacks.
All right. I mean, I'm totally on board with the Baltimore stack. I love this team this year. Let's go to the next game, and a little bit, not a great one. It's just like Sandoval can be got, but God, these Cardinals bats have been absolutely terrible. Title, I'm assuming, like you said, you probably don't want any of the Angels. You just said that. Do you like any of these Cardinals bats to heat up maybe?
Yeah, I'm more on the fence with the Cardinals because, man, the Cardinals lineup is amazing. Like, I love looking at 1 through 9. You love them against lefties, Goldie against lefty, Arenado against lefties. You want to go to the bottom of the order. DeYoung's got power. Tyler O'Neill's got power. You definitely skip Nizer down there at the 8-hole. But Lars Nootbaar is lefty. He's got pop. So the lineup is definitely intriguing. If I play the Cardinals, I am definitely going to play Goldie in the 2-hole, Arenado in the 4-hole. Like I said, salary doesn't mean as much on this slate. I like other 5-man stacks more. Like we're going back to the last game, the Orioles or the Cardinals. Like I like the Orioles more personally, but on a 12-game slate, like we're going to get to Coors Field. Like I'm not going to be eating chalk Brewers. They are chalky Twins. You can get different with that stack, but if you're not playing the Twins, a lot of these teams, the Orioles, the Cardinals, the Astros, the Padres, you can all throw in the same boat. So I'm mediocre to them. Probably don't get to it as a 5-man stack. I don't hate it if you do, because if Sandoval does blow up, there you go. Then you get the worst of the bullpen, decent hitting weather too. I want to hear what more you and Mangone say about it, because I want to like them. Lefty crushers, the lineup's great, but yeah, I don't know. I like other spots more a little bit.
I mean, there's going to be a game where they break out. And so I want to be ahead on that, but I'm also kind of with you where it's like, so Mangone, please guide us. What are you doing?
Yeah, I do think the Cardinals are definitely in play today. I don't think you want to ignore them. Now I'll make the case. Like, yeah, I don't want to play Kanizer. He's not a fun roster for sure. But Sandoval, when I was looking at some of his numbers and like some of the props and stuff, I was not that encouraged by it. And I do worry about him at times. He's a guy that can get blown up or have a huge ceiling game. So I'm kind of hoping that the Cardinals can really get a hold of him today. I think the Cardinals are a stack that I think they are going to get overlooked a bit overall, right? Because we talked about it. At some point, you just can't play every stack, and some teams are going to be lower owned, right? I mean, just naturally. And if the Twins have ownership, and Milwaukee does, and Toronto, well, the Cardinals are going to be a little bit lower. I think they're in the conversation today. I like them. I have some interest. Obviously, again, I talk about this a lot, but one reason why the Cardinals, I think, will be a good team is because look at the positions, right? I mean, Contreras at the catcher position helps kind of fill that out. They have a ton of different outfield options that kind of help that. I think it's a really good spot for these guys. So I'm in on the Cardinals. I think they're definitely going to be a pretty good stack today here against Sandoval. And then I know we're talking about Steven Matz, and I know K. Felique was saying, hey, he liked the Angels more. I think I got to stay on brand and just fade the Angels. I mean, first of all, their run total is not that high. They've been frustrating at times this year, and I don't think I want to play them here in this spot. I think it's just too big of a slate. So I'm fading the Angels, and I'm playing some Cardinals for sure.
Boom. Well, that's shit. Now I'm sold. Cardinals are going to be my line in the sand favorite 3-man GPP stack. Tyler, you coming with us?
Not my favorite, but I do like the Cardinals.
For GPPs? Come on.
I said, yeah, no.
I want you to love them. I want you to say
I don't love them as much as some other teams. Like I said, if I do, though, Goldie, Arenado would be right in there.
For sure. I like Tyler O'Neill to hit a bomb tonight. All right, next game. Let's get to a place where the roof is closed. We're going to Texas, and we got John Gray, someone who, back when he played for the Rockies, was very favorable in those Mile High games. And a team that I've loved stacking all year. The Diamondbacks, I don't really love the Rangers here. Like Mangone mentioned earlier, lineup's kind of shitty. But Tyler, you got on some Diamondbacks here that fairly low owned, I'm imagining?
Yeah, they'll be pretty low owned, but like the Cardinals we just talked about will be pretty low owned. The Orioles, like it's such a big slate with concentrated with Coors Field on the slate with cheap pitching. Like outside of a couple teams, I don't think you have to worry about ownership too much. And yeah, like Zach Gallen, there's no way I'm picking on him and how good he's been. And John Gray, he's definitely been a serviceable pitcher for a little while. I'd rather stack against pitchers that I feel more inclined to blow up. And Ryan Yarbrough, Tyler Wells, Steven Matz, Patrick Sandoval, or John Gray. I look at John Gray a lot better than all those guys. So, yeah, it's going to be a cross-off game for me. If it beats me, it beats me.
I kind of agree. I just say I like the previous other 3-man stacks I mentioned. Mangone, do you differ from us?
Yeah, I don't love this game. I mean, for one, Gallen, there's no chance I'm targeting him. It just doesn't seem necessary to target him. Sure, will Gallen have ownership? Yes. But is there enough leverage with the bats on Texas? This is not the right slate for him, right? If you want to do that, go on like the night slate and do like, I don't know, do like one of those shorter slates and take advantage of it. It doesn't make sense on this main slate, in my opinion. So if we keep going, I think John Gray is not really a guy that I'm looking to target too much here. I think you could make a case that John Gray can blow up at times, and we've seen it, but I just don't think this is the right spot here against Arizona. Big enough slate where I don't think I need to kind of take that opportunity. If John Gray was like on like a night slate and 50% owned, yeah, I think there's like some leverage opportunity there, but this is not the right spot.
All right. Simple. Easy does it. Let's go. Oh, God. Next game, I don't love this at all. Houston, San Fran. Title. Talk me into somebody because this is, yeah.
Well, DeSclafani definitely struggles against lefties. You get Yordan, you get Kyle Tucker right there. I think they're going to probably be over-owned, though. I think everyone's going to see it. Like, Astros, decent implied total. All the money in the world with cheap pitchers. Better 2 plays in the slate if you just look at it. Like I said, DeSclafani can't get any lefties out. Yordan, 6'1", Kyle Tucker, 5'8". It's just, man, like, I don't – outside of them, like Dubon, he has been hot. Bregman right there in the 2-hole, but like Yanier Diaz, Jake Myers in the 9-hole, Corey Julks. And because of the ownership of Yordan and Kyle Tucker, I think I'd rather just skip this game and hope DeSclafani can get those 2 out. And I'm not really worried about the other guys too much. So, yeah, I like other spots more. I'm going to say no to this one.
I feel that. I'm really scared that it's like a 2-dong Yordan game, man. Like
it definitely can. I mean, he's going to be
like it.
And for a reason, he's going to get ownership because on paper he's one of the best players on the slate. But yes, Andrew Martinez got me excited. Tyrone Taylor is my boy, and it looks like Tyrone Taylor made that lineup.
Boom, Mangone, you want to talk about Houston before we get to the Brewers game? Is that next? Yeah.
Houston's definitely. I mean, they're not a bad play today at all. I do think I'll have some on FanDuel when I kind of ran my stuff. I was getting a little bit, and I hadn't even X'd out the Twins, and I'm going to X them out. So I'll definitely get some more Astros that will pop up. That bottom of the lineup, it's definitely not super exciting, but I think you can play some of those guys down there. Maybe it's not a bad idea to set a rule max of 1 of Pena, Julks, Diaz, or Myers. Only thing you might run into is you might not really be able to spend up for pitching as much on a site like DK. We were kind of talking about it in the chat. Some people were saying, "Oh, I don't like Martin Maldonado." We were talking about it last night, and I was like, you have to like Maldonado at times. And I know he's not in the lineup, but the point I'm getting at is sometimes you have to punt that catcher to get Yordan, Tucker, all these guys, right? They're just very expensive. And then pair it with a top-end arm. But on this slate, you'll be able to get all these Astros bats with some of these cheap pitching options. So I think the Astros got to be in the conversation. They put up 7 runs last night. I think this Astros spot is pretty good. So definitely interested in them here on this slate. So I'll be having some Astros exposure. And I won't have any Giants exposure against Hunter Brown. I just don't think it's a spot that I need to target them. Yeah, they got some power and pop in their lineup, but I just don't see myself targeting Hunter Brown here.
Interesting. All right, before we get the lotion out for the next game, hit the like button, hit subscribe. Help us out, guys. We're doing it for free. We're volunteering our time. Please hit that like button. And it's no Mexico, but it's the next best thing we have. We're going to Mangone's house to play a baseball game. So I'll let you start out, Mangone, since we're going to Colorado. Break it down, this Brewers-Rockies game for us.
Yeah, give Title some time to go grab some tissues because he loves Coors Field. Loves it more than me. But I do think because I've been blessed with some Twins chalk on this slate, I think I'm more excited to play some Brewers because they don't cut enough into them where I'm excited to play them. One thing that people always do make the argument for, and it's worth having a conversation about, is this is the first game for the Brewers in Colorado. But counterpoint, it's not the first day. They didn't fly in, right? Maybe a little bit of adjustments have been made for them. So I do think that could help them a little bit maybe. So I am interested in some of these Brewers bats. I'm going to have some exposure to them because, again, I have some other spots that I can make some fades on instead. So I will be playing some Brewers here. Make sure to mix in guys at the bottom of the order. I think all these guys are in play. I mean, Anderson, Turang, Tyron Taylor, even Joey Weimer. I mean, we saw him have a big game the other day. He's been playing pretty well. He put up 219 pieces over the past week. I mean, up and down, you could definitely get different with this Brewers lineup. I'm going to make sure I get different. Just don't play that 1 through 5. Make sure to mix and match them. That's definitely an important thing to do. And when I go in and do my core stacks, I'm going to make sure that, hey, I have exposure to these Brewers guys. When it comes to the Colorado Rockies, typically they get a little bit lower owned because they're not as good of a team. But I think in this spot, I think Colorado is a team I want to fade. Even though I know the ownership could be low, Freddie Peralta is the type of pitcher that does not have those like movement type pitches, right? He's more of a fastball kind of guy, just throws gas past you. Saw someone in the chat mention it too. First time he pitched in Colorado, Freddie Peralta ended up getting 13 strikeouts. And one reason why is just his pitch types don't get affected as much at this stadium. So I am not that interested in the Colorado bats. Yes, I understand they could be a little bit lower owned, but it's Milwaukee or bust for me. And I'm going to make sure I am mixing in these 6, 7, 8, and 9 hitters on the Brewers.
Talk about the 8-hole for the Brewers. Title just double jerked it. I mean, the pricing is just, I mean, we might be leaving some salary tonight, boys, because holy shit. Title, talk about your boy Tyrone Taylor and talk about the rest of the Brewers and a little bit of the Rockies too.
Yeah, it was good memory. You know, Andrew Martinez has been here for a while. Tyrone Taylor, I think, is a complete stud. Wasn't supposed to make the lineup. He did crack the lineup, which is great to see. 2.3K, though. Probably going to get some ownership. To be honest, I just think these Brewers are going to be too chalky 1 through 9 that you can't even get different in a 5-man stack. People are going to play Turang to fill out second base, Anderson to fill out third base. Of course, people are going to play 1 through 5. Tyrone Taylor's 2-3. Weimer will probably be the lowest at 2-8. But like I said, if you 5-man stack this, you have to play other Brewers. It's going to be chalky. I'd rather go to the other side. They're going to be 5 times lower owned. People are not – excuse me, hold on.
Woo.
Wow, it's getting flummy in here. Yeah, so the Rockies are going to probably be 5% owned in Coors Field against the chalkiest team. Peralta, yeah, Freddie's a good pitcher, no doubt about that. But he has been it's been a roller coaster for him. Some starts he looks on, some starts he's getting hit around, walking some guys. Plenty of single-digit performances so far for him this year. And yeah, like this Rockies team, it definitely looks better with Randall Grichuk back. 1 through 6 is definitely nice. I don't mind Ezekiel Tovar because you can fill out that short top position. Harold Castro, you get to get out second base cheap. So yeah, the 1 through 9, you can play this team. Grichuk, I definitely like there. And why I like Diaz at catcher. Contreras going to be popular. You get the ownership right there. First base, Rowdy. You play CJ Cron. Ryan McMahon, you fill out third base right there. People aren't paying 5-7 for Chris Bryant. So, yeah, it's the ownership. Give me a good hitting weather. Give me Coors Field. Freddie's been up and down. People are scared to pick on him. With the ownership on both these sides, yeah, it's definitely the Rocky side for me.
All right, Mango, how would you go about this? And would you do, like, I know you've already talked about it, but like, if you're doing, let's say 1 to 3 lineups, would you do like a 5-3-2 type of thing with 5 and 3 being from this game, 5-2? Or would you just do a simple 4 guys from this game, fade the other team?
I mean, like I said, were you talking about the Brewers game still, or did you move to a different one?
Yeah, no, same game. Yeah, same game.
Okay, I was gonna say, I'm still interested in playing the Brewers even as a 4-man or 5-man. My just big thing with it is I want to make sure I'm different amongst the lineup, right? It's a big enough slate. There's enough. I feel like the Brewers, yes, they're going to be chalky, but I think other people are going to go to other options that I can kind of fade, or I can make some fades at pitchers. I want to eat some of this good chalk, but I want to mix in these bottom of the order guys. Sometimes one thing that you can do that I don't think is a bad idea is just say, hey, make sure you're like jamming in at least one of the guys in like the 6, 7, 8, or 9. Or another thing you can do is, let's say you run your Brewers stacks and you're getting like a lot of like, I don't know, let's see, who's probably the guy that would be the chalkiest on this team. Jesse Winker might be one of the chalkiest options, right? Or like a William or a Contreras might be one of the chalkier options. One thing you can do at times is just cap him, right? Where you're overweight and you're going to get a lot of him. Same with like Tellez, right? Tellez is 4.8K at that first base position. If you cap his ownership, maybe he's going to be 25% owned and you get like 40%, then you're in great shape. You're still overweight, and it helps you mix in other guys. And you don't miss out on some of these guys towards the bottom of the lineup to give you some unique teams. So that's definitely a way that I kind of can go about it to try and make it different. I'm not just going to sit there and pound the 1 through 5, pound the chalk pitcher, and then just hope I can find like the right like 3-run home run game from some one-off option.
All right, Tyler, any full game stacks for you here?
I think 5-man and Rockies or 3-man and Rockies. Again, like I said, I don't think I can get. I think the ownership will be too high. I can't get different enough with the Brewers, so I like the Rocky side.
All right, cool. Let's move it on then, and we
will. Andrew Martinez, could you play Cole Bibby and then be different with your chalkier stacks? Yeah. So Andrew Martinez, quick question. Yeah, the problem with that is though, like you need Cole and Bibby to definitely way outperform the Millers of the world. Just say you play Cole and Bibby, who are definitely lower owned than the Millers and stuff, but Millers get you a 17 and 19. Cole gets you 26. Bibby, let's just say, gets you 22. So you outscored them. Like you're still battling with so many other Brewers stacks. They're so chalky. 1 through 9, people are going to have so many variations of. You still pretty much have to hit the nut 5-man build, and it's a 12-game slate. So I just don't think getting like Cole Bibby gets you different enough to then still 5-man the Brewers stack. So that's my approach on it.
All right, let's move it on to possibly a leverage spot. Maybe we've been attacking these A's, but now they got a pretty popular pitcher tonight. So could we maybe take some of these Seattle bats and hope that he gets blown up and the ones we fade Miller in? Title? Or do you think we might dabble in that?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to pick one of the leverage spots on the slate, I do think it is Seattle against Mason Miller. Decent implied total, sitting like 4.2, guaranteed 9th inning at bats. And they have pop in their lineup. Julio Rodriguez, Jared Kelenic, Ty France, Suarez, Teoscar. Like they do have pop where if you're stacking them, I would definitely – I wouldn't get to a 5-man stack, I don't think. It'd be a 3-man, and it would definitely be near the top of the order. With that being said, though, on a 12-game slate, like we're talking Orioles, we're talking Rockies, we're talking so many other spots that look better on paper that are still going to be low owned. And it's not like it's not like Mason Miller is going to be 80% today. We have so many other pitching options. It's going to spread out a little bit. I just don't think the leverage is worth it enough to pick on it. So, yeah, if I did go anyone, it'd be some of these Kelenic, Teoscar, the power bats on Seattle that can make you a little different 3-man it, but I don't think it's worth it on this slate.
All right. Mango, your thoughts on the leverage play there?
Yeah, I don't have interest in it today. I think this game's just – I'm out on it. Doesn't need to be happening. Again, I think leverage plays make more sense on like some shorter slates or when there's some like bad chalk. And I'm not saying this chalk isn't like bad, but it's not egregious enough, right? It's not like Mason Miller's going to come in at like 60 or 70% or something like that. It's just spread out enough where I don't think I need to be trying to do that. If you are going to do it, Kurt, do it on the night slate. I don't think you want to do it on the main slate.
Yeah. I like that. So let's go to a team that was chalky yesterday, and a team that kind of got their little mojo back because they went to Mexico and played in like the highest altitude in the world. The Padres versus the Reds. Title probably, like I said, there's a lot of places to be owned tonight, so the Padres won't be high owned again. But the offense, I mean, they're clicking right now, and Ashcraft been impressive. But you know, we're gonna have money to spend. I personally won't go there, but you like the Padres?
Yeah, the problem is like Tatis is going to get some ownership. Machado is going to get some ownership. Machado will be higher owned on FanDuel where you can play a util and a third base spot, but he's definitely still going to get ownership on both sides. And like if I am playing these Padres, I definitely want Tatis and Machado in my lineup. I don't know. We don't have the lineup out yet. Like I was going to say mainly focus on the top, like Austin Nola, if he's down there, Trent Grisham, he's got pop. So I guess you could go 1 through 9. But I would want Matisse or Machado, and I think Tatis and Machado are probably going to go a little over-owned. The thing is, like, yeah, Ashcraft, I don't think he's great. Not worried about this Reds bullpen. But the Padres it's their second game, but we talked about it yesterday, going from Mexico City, the best hitting environment, to San Diego, which is pretty cool there. Not great hitting environments. Not guaranteed the 9th inning at bats. On a 12-game slate, I think they're fine. If you have a lean on the Padres, I don't really have a lean. I like other 5-mans that stick out more. If you do like the Padres, go for it. I would stack Tatis, Machado, Soto, probably 2 of the 3 right there. But if Tatis, Machado, Soto, Bogarts, 6'2", 5'2", 5'3", 5.6K, it's like, how could you stack them? There's cheap pitchers on this slate. You can easily play all of them. Salary really doesn't matter as much on this slate, which makes them a little more intriguing. But I like other teams more. So nothing against them. I probably won't get there.
All right, man. Gonna talk about the Mexico City Mashers.
Talk about this first.
Joey worked with a great comment. When I did play my whatever youth soccer days, I wasn't on travel or anything. I just played forward, and I like
played for Bridgewater.
Yeah, this is when I played in middle school when I grew up. Yeah,
everyone knows Bridgewater, bro.
Yeah.
I would play forward and I played goalie if I needed to, but I wasn't able to play travel because my mom couldn't do it. It was too much work, so I just played on the rec one, and it was a good time. And I had all my best friends on the team, so it was like, why did I want to leave them? But I played goalie when needed, but I liked playing forward, and I scored a lot of goals. So that's what I did.
Team player, Mangone.
Yeah, Rubio's like me. The middle school shirt still fits. Rubio and I talked about this because he's at Kurtz right now. The shirts were like way too big for some reason, so I do fit in some of my clothes from middle school and high school still, and I don't know, it feels good. I didn't get too fat yet, so we're doing good so far.
I will admit, middle school, I'm out of the picture, but I still some senior year football shirts and stuff. I can still fit into those sometimes.
This shirt was massive when we were in like 8th.
Well, I hope so. Middle school,
it was humongous. It was absolutely absurd. So
it's like the opposite for me. All my stuff's like too big. All my middle school stuff is borderline too big. I'm like the opposite effect. Yeah. I was a big boy. So.
Yeah, no, I mean that was self-explanatory for that comment right there. But
and don't worry, Joey Work. I've been hitting the gym. Well, if you start look good enough, maybe you'll get some summer photos down at the Jersey Shore. Maybe we'll be down there at the bars together, shirts off. Who knows?
I'll go with you. Let's go.
I would
take a cycle trend, head up there.
You'd love to see that, but I actually do like the Padres. Now I think they are going to have some ownership, but at least like less enough. And I think like kind of like yesterday, like I mentioned, I'm not going to try and play like Tatis and all these guys as one-offs like crazy, but in the 5-mans or the full stacks, I like it. And one thing I kind of had thought about on the show yesterday, I wish I would have kind of mentioned it, was I did like the idea of fading these guys out of Mexico City, but one thing I thought could help out the Padres is it kind of felt like a spot where they got to go to Mexico City and kind of like you said, get their mojo back, see things a little bit more clearly, just kind of get a little ego boost. It's like, for instance, if Titletown was struggling in some hoops, right? He'd go grab Mangone and he'd play me one-on-one. He'd absolutely dust me just so he could see a couple fall on the rim and just get a W under his belt. And I think that's kind of what happened with the Padres a little bit. So I think this offense is back. I kind of want to ride them out here. So I think that's my plan here with this team. I think I'm going to play some Padres here tonight and get exposure to them.
Definitely an interesting take. Now we got the nightcap late hammer. Padres, Phillies. Seidel, take it away.
Nothing for me. I'll definitely be in bed at this time. Hopefully I don't wake up. I got an early flight.
Where are you?
Got an early flight tomorrow, so.
But aren't you? Isn't that 8:00 in Arizona?
Yeah, this game starts not even at 8:00. It starts at 7:10. 7:10 to be exact.
My God, what time is your flight? 1 a.m.
No, it's 8:30, but I got to get up earlier. Got to Uber. You got to do it. I need my 8 hours of sleep every day. So I will be in bed. Moral of the story, without all those questions, I will not be watching this game. And yeah, I hope this game doesn't break the slate. I had some Mookie yesterday. Dodgers definitely put it on yesterday. Hopefully they don't have that repeat performance because I don't like the 5-man.
I enjoyed it yesterday, but I think I'll be with you. I hope it just stinks out today. Mango?
Yeah, no, I don't really have that much interest here in this spot. Like, there's enough spots, I think, on this slate that I've already kind of targeting. Sure, one-off options at Dodgers. Like, I'll never, ever be like, oh, I don't want to Trey Turner one-off or like a Mookie Betts. Like, those guys are always in play. I don't X them from my pool. What I do is if I'm getting too much of them, I will cap their ownership, right? Just because sometimes, like, I see, like, a great example is Fernando Tatis. Sometimes you run stuff and you're like, I'm getting 80% Fernando Tatis. I don't need that much. I'll like kind of make an adjustment, and then it'll put more guys in my lineups like the Mookie Betts of the world. So that's kind of how I handle these guys that are like power bats that might not make it in stacks, but you get as one-offs.
All right. So we can now get to the plays of the day. But first, guys, hit the like button, hit subscribe. 6 o'clock, which means we still got an hour. We got the cores going in for baseball, the cores going in for basketball. We got the breakdowns, the playbook for both of them. We got the heat match for both of them. We got everything you need. Go sign up, All Sports One Price. Just come give us a try. 1 month. Hit the like button. Come see the cores, all that stuff. Our boy Bobby's on a heater. Come tell him. All of us are kind of on a mini heater. I can't lie. Come tell us. Now let's get the plays of the day. You guys deserve it. I have no idea how many likes you gave us. I'm going to assume you all gave us a lot. Let's go to title first because it's the button that I'm clicked on right now. Title, what's the SO play of the day?
Going to go to Colorado, but I'm not going to go to the chalky side in Colorado. I am going to go to the other side, the lower owned, against my Brewers. I'm going to go top of the order, lead off, Jurickson Profar, 3.7K. People aren't going to play these Rockies, so it's not like you got to go crazy and you got to get different. Jurickson Profar, too cheap. I like these Rockies here. SO play of the day.
I like it. I am going to give my play of the day. I'll say Mangone for last. The tanning bed play of the day is going to be Tyler O'Neill for the Cardinals. Will not be owned at all. Like the hitting weather there. Probably 1% owned, I'm imagining. And favorite, like, off-tier stack will be I'll go Orioles. I was tied. I'll go Orioles. Mangone, hit us with the ping pong play of the day.
Yeah, Kurt, listen, I'm not jumping in the tanning bed with you. I'm not going to jump on Tyler O'Neill, but I am going to jump, I'll jump in the same area, right? I'll jump in my own tanning bed. I'll jump on the Cardinals with you. Ping pong play of the day is going to be simple. It's going to be an expensive first baseman, but it's going to be Paul Goldschmidt. He gets a lefty. We know how good he can be against lefties. I think he's got a good shot here. So give me Paul Goldschmidt, or as I like to call him, Goat Schmidt, as my play of the day.
I like it. And I didn't get y'all's favorite stacks. So non-Coors favorite stacks, title go.
Hey, non-Coors. I can't even go with my low-owned Rockies. I like the Orioles. I do like St. Louis with you as well. And then a third one. Man, since you're not letting me get these low-owned Rockies, where am I going? I'll probably say the Twins, but not Buxton Polanco. Make it a lower-owned twin stack that way.
Cool. Mango?
Am I giving top three or one? What was the question again?
Top three stacks not in Coors.
Okay, got you. Not in Coors. So I'm going to go with Cardinals will definitely be on that list. For me, it's probably oh man, because there's so many good stacks. That's why again I'm fine with making some fades like that twin stack. I'm going to go with Cardinals. I'll go with Padres. Those will be two of them in the top stack list, and then I'll go with Blue Jays. I almost put the Astros in there, but that'll be kind of my list there. Cardinals, Padres, and Blue Jays.
I like it. Guys, I don't know what else we can give for you. 5 minutes. We got the final countdown coming up, so we got to get out of here. So any last words for either of you? I'll go with Mango. Any last words?
No final words for you. Excited for this slate. We got a nice NBA slate coming up. Be sure to check that out. We got the premium show coming up. There'll be a lot of great takes for you in the MLB streets. And Holden will be on this show. And I'll tell you this, Holden hit me up. He said he's moving today. And he's like, Mangone, I need your address just in case there's any issues. So bad news, guys. Holden now has my address. Luckily, he's not doing it from my house. He said, everything got good with the internet. But Holden has my address, so things are not safe in the Colorado area. But be sure to check out Holden in his new location. I'm sure he'll be having a great time with you guys.
Awesome. Tyler, any last words?
Fun day. Baseball, basketball, NBA playoffs this week, MMA pay-per-view, golf got on Thursday, a big event there. NASCAR is going on. It's a great time to be a sports fan. I mean, I miss football. I really do. It'll be here before we know it. But right now, it's a great time of year. Underdog, too. Best ball going on. Underdog, best ball mania. release their big one. So if you're ever bored, there's a million things to do as a sports fan. Hope we see some RPS logos up top tonight.
Thanks. Final word for me, FBGM for title for Mangone. Thanks for watching. Kyle, get us out of here.